Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Chicagoland Baseball Chronicles. You know the business. If you woke up this morning, you are definitely winning. I'm Bo Rab, and this is my man, Bill. What's up, Bill?
Hey, what's going on, Bo? Back at it again. Another Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock. We're gonna jump on here and share one of these exciting Chicagoland baseball stories. And this Sunday is no exception. Who do we have with us today, Bo?
Oh, we got a real legend. We got a
Mm-hmm.
first round draft pick, man.
Not many of those. Not many of those first
Right.
rounds.
We heard about Jeff Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
but we had one before then. It was
Okay.
the
Okay.
first round pick from my old school, from Utica Junior College. Let's bring him
Okay.
on, man.
Okay.
Mr.
From the
Dusty
SIP.
Rogers. Let's bring him on. Mr. Dusty Rogers. Old school. What's going on, doctor?
Hey, what's up,
Yeah.
guys?
Hey, what's going
Yeah.
on, Dusty? Thanks for jumping on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, fellas.
It's good. It's a pleasure to have a real legend on. I was just giving you an introduction, and a lot of people don't know that. They know about Jeff Jackson. He was a first round pick, and we had
Corey
one
Ray.
before
Corey
then.
Ray. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
from old school UJC, and I say I gotta represent because this is my
yes,
first
sir.
time. I gotta represent.
You
You
got
know
to
what I
do
mean? I
everything.
gotta do it, man. I gotta do it.
I
It's
like
a
it.
pleasure. This a
Pleasure's
play. Hey,
mine, guys.
Bill, you got to excuse me. I'm gonna be in a little biased today because I got a OG on here, one of mine. You understand? Got a lot of
Okay. Let's get
history.
it going. Let's get it going.
Yes. Hey, I want to get straight to it though, kid. How did you get started in this game, man? How did you, what? How did you get there, man? In Chicago, you know.
I'm just like everybody else. I grew up on the streets, playing in the parking lots, playing for Boys and Girls Club, playing, remember, wall ball, stick ball, all of that kind of stuff,
Strikeout.
T-ball, all on the streets. We never had all the facilities over the winter and all the extra training. We just got in the parking lot, gave us a stick and a ball, and we went at it, man. So I'm sure my story's like most of you guys. We started on the streets, just loving the game, watching the game, and looking at our idols. Like my namesake, Dusty Baker. That's why I got my nickname. That was my idol
Right.
growing
Okay.
up. So you grew up watching TV, trying to emulate these guys. So my stories, I'm sure, just like you guys, the same thing.
I heard that, man. When you started playing like, and another thing, Bill, he representing the West Side. I've been getting hit on, man. We
Out
got
west
brothers on the
tonight.
West
Out
Side.
west
Okay, this is
tonight.
the West Side today, y'all. For the
Mm-hmm.
people that's out
Yeah.
there watching, we got West Side representation right now. Now,
Or High School Academy, yes, sir.
here we go. You hear what I say? But
Mm-hmm.
okay, when you started playing organized ball on the West Side, how did that come about? Some organized stuff. You
Yeah, I
know,
just happened to be in that district for Orr High School. I was there for my freshman year, and then with the gang violence and all other crazy stuff going on, racism back then. My parents actually tried to get me out of there, so they moved me out to Maywood, Proviso East. So I moved out
right,
there with my aunt for about 3 months before I got homesick. I grew up down with my boys in the hood, man. So I kind of rebelled. I
right.
wanted to get back to the city. You guys probably remember Anthony Kelly and the Orr High School kids
Absolutely,
when they played against
absolutely,
Marvin Freeman and those guys. I missed that year
absolutely.
because my parents were trying to do what was right and get me in a better culture, so to speak. But I wanted to go back home, man. So I rebelled.
Right,
I missed that White Sox championship between Free and Kelly just because of that. So I
well, I,
still regret that to this day. But once I came back, I transferred back to Orr and played all 4 years there, obviously. But no, the rest is history, man. It was a great opportunity. And
now,
before I go too far, I want to say rest in peace to Coach John Walker. He passed about a month ago.
yes, I heard about that. Some
I
guys
wanted
were
to make
telling me
sure I got
about it.
that across. They're father figures to us. They meant everything to us. Even in later on in years, they built that foundation and they helped us grow up and they helped us become men, not
Right
just boys.
now, I
And
don't
they
want you
protect.
to. Right, absolutely. I don't want you to go too fast because if you look at my background back here on this side, right up under my finger, that's a picture of me in 1979. Now you weren't playing with no oil in 1979. Hey, people out there, this is when I first got encountered with Mr. Sebastian Dusty Rogers. You understand?
Little
And
leagues.
yeah, no, it wasn't little league. We playing on 60 feet 6 inches.
I'm trying
This
to look
was
back.
this was this was senior. We playing on regulation field.
Oh,
and you beat us.
man, you
my
go
Burbank.
way back.
Everybody. This was one
Burbank,
of the
Illinois. Yes, sir.
Burbank, and you were the
Yes.
only black on that team. Now,
Oh,
I know
yeah.
them white folks wasn't living in your neighborhood, man. How did you get to
Yeah.
plan with them, man?
So this was the big lefty that was dealing with us, right, Bo? This was the big lefty?
Absolutely. Yeah, he hit her. Listen, I gotta. This is your story, but I'm telling it. And
No, go ahead.
he beat us, put us in the losers bracket.
Absolutely.
We wound up putting everybody out the losers bracket, but he beat us through a one hitter, and our pitcher threw a one hitter also.
Yes,
except
did.
for the one hit that he got was he hit a 2-run home run.
Yeah,
and the game was 2-1.
And guess who got your one hit?
Nucci. It was lefty and lefty.
Yes,
Nucci.
yes.
That was
he went to Jackson State.
That was a
You
classic.
remember who got the hit for you guys?
Nucci, the guy hit the pitcher, the other pitcher. He hit one off of you. He got a home run. You hit a home run. He hit a home run. But
First
you
one I
had
ever
a man on base.
I was shell shocked.
He got me. You got him. He got you back, but it was nobody on base.
Did.
That
Great
was
athlete.
It.
Great
that
ball
was
player.
That was a classic game. A classic
and everybody on this team knows who you are, brother. Really.
Yeah, I know everybody on your team too.
Your name went on for a long time on the South Side, way before you got to Utica. Believe me, they know you now.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
That. That's a great team, man.
Yes,
that was a great team.
Yes. So after you played, what did you do at Proviso, man? How did that go? How did playing in the South Suburban?
Yeah, I went to Proviso, and obviously I was rebellious because I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to leave my friends. I grew up all in the city, and so I went over there, and I actually got cut. I went out because they have a little organization out there, a feeder team. So they didn't know who I was. So I went in there, and they had a hot shot already playing over there called Robert Jones. And Robert Jones played in the Milwaukee Brewers system. And Robert's a stud. Don't get me wrong.
I remember I remember him also. I remember.
Yeah, I never pitched. I never did anything. They let me hit, and stuff like that. But yeah, I got cut my freshman year. And so that even took me deeper into rebellion. It's like, man, this is what it's all about. I want to go back to the city, and not for notoriety. It's just that's what I grew up with, man. And so when I was out there, I was around, and me, I'm not a racist guy. I'm around a bunch of white people. I think he was the only other black in the whole school. And know who else is on that team? Doc Rivers. Wow. You guys remember Doc Rivers?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was
we know Proviso East is a big time basketball school. State champions. Isaiah Thomas was right there at St. Joseph.
I also remember Tony Shaw. Tony Shaw.
I went
Tony
out for
Shaw was playing too, wasn't
he? But all in all, I wanted to get out of there. Is what it was. I was in culture shock. I was in shell shock. I said, you know what? I'd rather go back and face the violence and racism. And that's what's groomed us all. We've all been a part of that, and it's made us stronger. Now we have stories to tell our kids and all this stuff, So I ended up going back. But Kelly had graduated. That whole group that went to the Comiskey, all of them were gone. So it's me going there trying to rebuild things and get us back to where we need to be.
So you finished your high school career back at Orr?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
Couldn't be prouder.
Couldn't be prouder. Now see, I didn't know that. Yeah,
that was a walking distance, 5 blocks from my house. It was perfect for me.
Right. That was cool. Okay, now how did you get on the pipeline and get on that train, man? Come down to Utica.
So we had that high school all-star game. I can't remember if it was in Burbank or where it was. No, it was at one of the colleges.
It was at IIT.
IIT, yes.
That's around I quit. That's on the low end there.
Yep. I went there and played an all-star game. Remember Joe Girardi was actually playing. He was a catcher on the opposing team. So there were some pretty good ball players in there. The big lefty, Dave Otto, pitched for the Cubs for a while. So they bought all the attention, all the scouts and all that stuff. I do remember one guy sitting in the stands. Probably the only other black guy in there was Joe Brady, Jackson State head coach. He had been following me all that time. And Brady came up and he spoke to me afterwards and talked to me because I was supposed to go to Jackson State. Right. But obviously with the rebellion and all the stuff, my grades weren't where they should have been quite. And so I went to Jackson State. Actually getting ready to sign up and register and go in there. And then they looked at the transcript and go like, well, he talked to his best friend, which was George McQuitter at Utica. So then George said, why don't you start him out here and let him get his grades up, and then I'll send him your way. So that's the story. I was at Jackson State for about a week.
Okay.
The story I use, I always tell people, well, I found out it was a 3-year institution in college, and I didn't want to wait 3 years. That's the lie I tell.
To get drafted.
And it's true, because at junior college, you can get drafted any year.
Right,
right.
So it's actually funny how it
not anymore. I'm not sure how that
I
goes.
think you can. Freshman
you
year.
still can. Right.
Oh, yeah, you can still do it. But at
Right.
Jackson State, you got to go like Free and West Chambers. They had to go 3 years. Once
Absolutely.
You got to be there 3 years.
Absolutely.
I wasn't no bookworm. I didn't want to be there 3 years. And I coming out of high school, boy, you probably don't remember. Remember Art Stewart used to run around
Absolutely.
Kansas
City Royals.
So he came up to me after my senior year, and they offered me a position for the Royals as an outfielder. But all they were going to give me was a glove and a plane ticket, which if I knew what I know now, I probably would have took it, because you're going to have that tutelage with professionals, and they'll teach you how to play the game. People always don't understand. I like hitting more than pitching. But if you're a left-handed pitcher and you're throwing 93, 94 miles an hour, where do you think they're going to put you?
They're going to put you on the hill. They're going
to put you on the bump. So, yeah.
Dusty, what did the Royals offer you again, Dusty? What was the signing bonus?
A glove and a plane ticket. It's pretty simple. And Art was straightforward. Right. He didn't pull no punches. He goes, this is all I can do for you.
Unbelievable.
But this is what John Walker was good. These guys, they treat you like they're kids, and he goes, no, we're not doing that. You got more to give. You should get more. So he's the one that talked me into saying no to that and moving on and going to college. Because back then, the education first was always stressed in your household and Bill's household. I'm sure the same thing. Go get an education. Go get that education.
Absolutely.
So again, that's how I ended up at Utica. I started at Jackson State. Grades weren't up to par. So with the transcript being not quite where it should be, I ended up going to Utica.
Well, it's the good part right here, because see, I got a little history down there. I wish I would have stayed down there, man. Because that was a pitching staff. Hey, Bill, you talking about a pro pitching staff.
Who was on the staff, Bo? Who was on the staff?
We was beating D1 colleges, man.
Yes.
Yeah, man. He's down there with Twain, Tony Hearn.
Yes,
Pie. Was Pie still on the team?
Louis
Pie
Grady
was there.
Louis Grady.
We had another dude named Dusty.
Yes.
We had
and
two Dusties.
And a double O.
And
Mike Smith.
Absolutely. But Double O was down there when I was down there. He broke.
Yeah.
I'm talking that pitcher staff y'all had. Oh,
yeah, we had some solid players.
My God! Then they had hitters. They had a brother named Hammer.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mr. Daniels.
Yep. Don't forget about. he's not Illinois, but don't forget about Howard Farmer.
Absolutely.
A lot of people forget about Howard Farmer.
Yes.
Yeah, he was tough too.
Good times down in Utica. Good times down in Harris County.
Hey, Bill, I was not the best pitcher on that staff. I was probably 4 or 5 in the rotation.
Really?
Easily.
Always good to be a lefty, though. It's always good to be a lefty.
Talk about some of those games against Hines.
Oh, man. Talk about rivals. You respect the stuff even more now, because I know what it was like whenever you played Hines or Gulf Coast, those schools. Hines, I think Hines, we want to be us, to be honest with you, because we had so many athletes. They got all the attention.
Right.
But us being predominantly black, we didn't get all that attention. And I'm not a race card kind of guy, but let's face facts.
That's what it was.
They had all those big name guys that were supposed to be tough. They got guys out there throwing 85, 86, and they're thinking they're major league. We got guys throwing 92, 93 over here and getting no attention. So whenever we played them, it was on. You know what it's like, man. It's like you want to beat them like bald head stepchildren.
Absolutely.
I hope I can say that, but no, it was intense, because you knew it was us against them, and you knew if you perform well against them, now guess what? People are going to start coming look at us, and guess what happened? That's how we got attention, by whooping on them.
Playing Hines.
By
playing against Hines.
Playing Hines, even with our coach. Even Coach McQuitter never got his respect, because the Hines coach got it all.
Yeah.
Right. So
Absolutely.
what do you think he made the Hall of Fame? He was
at Hines. I was telling Billy off the record, but I'm gonna say it on the record now. You can't even Google up anything about Utica Junior College baseball because they took our history along when they combined the schools.
Yes, they did.
And I mean, back in the days with Tony Hearns. Tony Hearns might have been the first one. One of his teammates from Orem, he was my roommate, was the first one to beat Hines.
Absolutely.
Double O. Well, double O. Mike Smith beat him. You know, all of that stuff, you know.
Well, everybody forget, we all want to be Tony Hearns. We all want to be Hitman, you know, Hitman Hearns. You know, that was our motivation. You know,
that was the beginning of the pipeline
as well. Yeah. Yes. Anthony Kelly was our first Division I player. He went to Nebraska. So he was the one that all of us kind of wanted to be like. But Hitman, Tony was the same way. Everybody wanted to be like Tony.
I saw it. I had a first-hand view. That was my roommate at Utica. That was I was a roommate with two pitchers, Mark Harrington from Phillips.
Oh yeah.
And Tony Hearns and myself. We were the first three from Chicago to go down to the U and make it happen. And I continued to send guys down there after me, even though I left. And to this day, I regret not staying just a full 2 years down there. I regret it.
Well, I wish Bill could have experienced it. It was something different. It was definitely country. It was definitely the South. I can tell you that. But it was
baseball.
It was baseball. That's all you had.
Baseball, though.
That's all you had.
Instruction at that. And we, you know, you got pros all around you. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this now, you know, because you're an instructor and you can give them that information. And you got access to the information. But that was an experience, and I know it had a lot to do with it. Now tell us, while playing at Utica, you know, I don't know how far you guys went or what you did, and then lead us up to when you got drafted, man. How did that go?
Yeah, so the freshman year was still a lot of leftover stuff from the previous year. I know they had some up and downs. They had a great team, Tony and all those guys, and had a lot of guys made All-Americans and all that stuff, but they didn't quite get where they wanted to go. So a lot of bad blood was brewing. They had some the Chicago and Mississippi connection wasn't as strong. They fought a lot, you know. And you know, if you're not pulling together, you're not gonna win. So that team was kind of in disarray. Still had all the talent in the world, but for some reason, coach could not get them to get along or play together.
Because what year are we talking about now, Dusty? What year? You say your freshman year. What year is this?
Yeah, so I got drafted in '84. We've been an '83 team. Right. Yeah. 83. So they like I say, they had some decent leaders on that team. I was glad Tony was around because Tony has always conducted himself professionally. He still does today, and hats off to him. He's an awesome dude. But the Jackson guys had their pull, and they were good. Then the Chicago boys come in. They felt like they were trying to invade their turf, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because it was coming. Chicago was coming. And they were starting to take over that team.
Just to add on, Bill, he was down there with Twain Freeman, Tony Hearns, himself,
Cornelius Keys,
Cornelius Nees,
another big lefty,
another lefty, and also everybody I named it with draft picks, and Felipe. I think was Felipe Moffitt down there.
Felipe Moffitt,
Big Stick played with us at Jackie Robinson West. Played with me.
So even it was. In '84, it's another wave of Chicago guys that come down to Utica.
Oh yeah,
it continued.
Without a doubt. But like I said, '83, and I don't want everyone to talk bad about Utica because it was the best experience of my life. I'm not going to kid you. But even the Jackson guys, hell, they took me under their wing, and those the houses that you stayed in over the holidays.
They took care of me.
I'm no dummy. I just think that they seen that influx of Chicago and Indiana people starting to come in, and they were not getting their respect, which they deserve. They built it too, you know, but you couldn't stop that Chicago and Indiana crew. So in '84 is when it all came together, and we came together as brothers: Indiana, Illinois, and Jackson, and that's when it was on. That's when
how far did that group go? How far did that group go in '84?
We came one pitch away from going to the Junior College World Series.
One pitch.
So we had umpires. I don't know if you remember the Cotton Boys. They used to umpire all of our games down there. And boy, I swear to this day, we feel like with Gulf Coast, I threw 2 balls right down the middle of the plate, and they called them ball. And George even stopped and said, what's going on, man, and all this stuff. Then he hit a ground ball to our second baseman. I won't name any names, and it went through his legs. That was a 3rd out. So the floodgates open. Then I ended up walking the guy because we had second and third, had a base open. I did not want to walk the guy that we walked because the guy on deck, his name was Barry. That dude beat me like a drum. But it was percentages. We played percentages. Right. So I got him down, and I had him 1 and 2. And then I threw what I thought was a strikeout pitch, and it was a high fastball. And he swung, and the bat went through the zone, and they waved it off. The other Cotton brother. So we get down to 3-2, bases loaded, and we're up 2-1. So George comes out to the mound, and he wants to bring Cornbread in. And
at 3-2 at a full
count? Yeah, well, I was wild. I had about 6 walks. Yeah, I was amped. I had a lot of walks.
Wow.
Cornbread had precise, great control. He really did.
Absolutely.
So I said, Coach.
Cornelius Keys.
Yes, big Cornbread. I said, I feel this is my game to win or lose. I said, what do you want me to do? I'm throwing the ball right down the pipe, and I'm not getting the call. He goes, I know. I said, you're going to win it or lose it with me, And he said, it's your call. I said, I want to stay. I want the ball. So I threw another one. There was 3-2, and actually it was a ball. I probably would have walked again. But he swung at it. Wind blowing out the right, grand slam. Ended everything, So, of course, you're frustrated. I think the scouts were there and everything, and I think they expected us to be like hoodlums and run around, cursing, throwing our gloves and stuff. You just got to tip your hat. The guy hit the ball out the park, and we didn't make it. I felt bad for about 5 years, man. Because I felt like I let the team down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it also helped me grow as a person to realize that you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. But no, I felt bad for those guys because we were right there. We were right there, and we didn't quite make it. And I think one of the Jackson guys who was always kind of didn't like us a lot said, well, you're going to go on and play professional ball, and Cornbread's going to go, Twain's going to go, and what do we have? Like, man, you think I'm out here trying to lose on purpose? So most of the team, that's when we turned the corner. We got rid of that guy, and we moved on. And now all of us are great friends. We even have our reunions, and I love those guys, Indiana boys, and we pulled together for a common cause. And then it just all piggybacked off of that. From 85, 86, they came close to winning the College World Series a couple times after that. But again, it's the foundation that was laid before us that created that.
Great
so it was a great ride.
I forget.
It made me a man.
Dancy was on the team too. I left Dancy out.
Absolutely.
I can't leave Dancy out. They had they had a pitching staff out this world.
Yeah, Dancy came right after me. Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna say this here. If I would have stayed, that ground ball wouldn't have went through the second base. I'm gonna keep it like that.
I believe you.
Wow.
Yeah, but as you learn and as you grow, you realize, hey, that errors happen. I'm not gonna sit there and blame my second baseman.
No, I know that, but
so it is what it is.
That in, man.
We had a great run. We had a great run. A great run. Can't complain.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, man. So after that season, man, you come up in the draft. You went pretty high, my man. You went pretty high.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, how did that come about, man? Because that was in January. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the funny thing, how did that go? Yeah, the funny thing is in '83, the Reds wanted to draft me, and Coach McQuitter. One thing he is good at, when Coach McQuitter talks, you've heard him talk. Sometimes you have to have him repeat himself a couple times. Like, George, so country, you can't understand half the thing he's saying. So George said, we're going to get you into, he said, 83 goes, we're not going to go because the Reds wanted me in 83. He goes, we're going to keep you here, baby. So you know how George talks. He goes, we're going to keep you here because what I'm hearing is next year, you have a chance to go higher in the draft. I would have took whatever they gave me. I'd have went out of high school. But George was that guy that took you on this wing and said, he talked to those scouts. So he kind of knew what was up. So I turned down the ticket from the Reds in '83 at the end of that season, and I went back to '84. So if I would have taken that one, I would have never got drafted in the first round of next year. So I was glad I got the information from George. And sure enough, after my last season, '84, that's when it came about.
I had no idea. You know, man, I'm oblivious to that stuff. I just go out and play,
Right.
man. I don't look at that
Right.
stuff or worry about it. I just went out and played. I thought I was going to get drafted because that's what they wanted me in '83 as an outfielder. So in '84, when they were talking pitching, George didn't pitch me a lot until '84.
So the arm was still fresh. A lot of bullets in that arm.
Well, he hit me. The guy you guys probably know, Mississippi State coach wanted me to pitch. Polk wanted me to pitch in '83 against his guys. Guess who was on that team?
Bobby Thigpen, Will
Rafael
Clark,
Palmeiro, Will
Rafael
Clark,
Palmeiro. You know,
and he goes, I want to take a look at him.
We played them yearly. We played them yearly on that. We played them all the time for practice games. They used to annihilate us, man.
Yes.
Oh, I'm talking about they used to hit. They used to kill us. They used to kill us. Bill took me down there. There's one, and I don't know. I don't know if it was Rafael Palmeiro or Will Clark. Bobby Thigpen was playing with. Man, they hit me one, man. I'm gonna tell you, I don't move from many balls. That's one I went straight to the cutoff, man.
Turned on one.
Ooh,
Rafi turned on one.
Ooh, the guy he was pitching was a guy that wasn't gonna make the team because it was early, and I don't know. He was he was one of the guys from down there. But
so his tryout was to pitch against Mississippi State. That was his tryout.
They put a whooping on us so tough. Dusty will tell you that everybody get to play that game.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right, Dusty? Oh, he got froze. Dusty. Uh-oh, we got to bring him back. He's done something. Oh, well, Mr. Dusty got froze out the show. We've never had this happen before, people. Maybe he'll come back.
We got to bring him back. I want to hear about the academy.
Yeah, we got to get him to the academy, so we're nowhere near done. Let's try to send him another email. Let's send him another one.
I also want to find out how he ended up in Dubuque, Iowa, of all places.
Right. We got to find out. We're trying to get him back, people. Keep the people posted. Man. We've never had this happen. We have technical difficulties, people. Technical difficulties. Let's see if we can shoot him right back. I'm shooting him a link again. Let's see if he gets it. Back up here. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Sorry about that, guy. I don't know if that was on your end.
There he is. Oh, we kept it moving because you got real juicy with the stories. But go ahead, Bill. Take over.
So we got you in the draft. So we still want to hear a little bit. We want to hear about your professional career. And we really want to hear a lot about your continued involvement in the game as far as youth baseball, youth softball,
right,
in Dubuque, Iowa. And we really want to hear a lot about that project you have going on also.
Yeah, yes, sir, Bill. So the first year they sent me to Billings, Montana. I think that was common we had 2 A leagues. We had one in Billings, Montana, and one in Sarasota, Florida. And I think the Billings, Montana was your high A, so to speak. That's where they sent the top pitchers. But then the Sarasota is where they sent the top hitters, from my understanding, the way it worked. So I went there, had a decent season. Again, me and Chris Jones, there's a couple African-American guys on the team. And you go into the stadium and you're shell shocked because you're not used to throwing in front of 7,000 to 10,000 people in a sea of white. So I think my first pitch ball I ever threw when I started was probably like 98 miles an hour, but it all went all the way over the catcher's head to the backstop. That's how hard my heart was just pumping, And I faced some great hitters, whether it's Kirby Puckett or any of these guys, it didn't matter. But that it's just something about that first professional experience that really blows you away. So I played there 1 year, then I went back there a second year to Billings, Montana, because that's a shortened season. I don't know if you guys are aware of that or not. Mm-hmm. Rookie ball is a short season, especially the time that you sign up in the draft. Right. Went on to play A-ball in Tampa, Florida, And I think that's where I had my arm issues in 1986. And that's when I was really starting to throw hard as I could. And I was only hitting about 86 or 87 on the radar gun. And I didn't know what the hell was going on with my arm. So I didn't want to get scoped back then because you went under the knife. You went under the knife back then. We didn't have Tommy John and arthroscopic surgery. So they gave me rest. They sat me for about 10 days, and it just never quite got back where I wanted it to go. They sent me to Cedar Rapids in 87 to try to rehab because I had just got done signing the contract for the AAA team because I was going to get moved up to AA. Usually they'll put you up higher on your contract, but you end up the next level lower. So I was touted to go to Vermont, which is our AA team, but I just could never get the arm back straight. So they sent me to Cedar Rapids in 87, kind of on a rehab tour, so to speak. Got the velocity back up to right around 89, 90, but it still didn't feel the same. And I didn't have no pain. That's what was scary about it. I didn't have no pain.
Felt dead. Just felt like a dead arm.
There was dead. Today's era, they call it a dead arm because I've probably thrown so many pitches in my career. I'm back up a little bit. So 86, started regaining it a little bit. And we were in spring training, and a couple of guys got hurt. I think it was Ted Power, Tom Browning, and Tom Reynolds or something. So they called up myself, Rob Dibble, and Lenny Harris. So we got to go up and play a big league game up in Plant City, Florida. So that's when I really got the first taste of it. Go like, man, this is incredible. Mm-hmm. This is fantastic. And got to pitch 1 inning in there. Got to face Mike Schmidt. No guys remember Mike Schmidt. Von Hayes.
Come on, buddy.
Von Hayes, Glenn Wilson, and can't remember Juan Samuel. They'll play for the Phillies.
Playing the Phillies.
We're playing the Phillies. So that was my one chance, that I got up there. But my arm never, and I did all right. I gave up a home run to Mike Schmidt. Shock. That's never happened to anybody before. But I struck 2 of the guys out, and then Juan Samuel grounded out to shortstop. But I mean, it was okay other than that. But Pete Rose was coaching. So that's what was more exciting. He's the one that actually called us up to come up for that day to get that experience. So a lot of people don't realize that's my biggest big league, so to speak, experience. Being a can't miss prospect, everybody just assumed that you had played many years up there, which I didn't. But I will never look back and wonder what if or why did this happen to me. Everything happens for a reason.
No regrets. No regrets.
Everything happens for a reason. So I went on and played 87, tried to rehab and get back up again. And the next year they gave me another AAA contract, but the arm still wasn't there. So I ended up going to Greensboro, North Carolina, which was a high A league. And I was kind of a player coach, so to speak. I think they were grooming me at this time because I was a decent guy in the organization to be a pitching coach or a roving instructor or something like that. They had approached me about that and asked me if I'd be interested in that. And when you get asked that, it's probably pretty close to the end because I just couldn't get back up. Even my last year, I think I topped out at 90, 91 occasionally, but I learned how to pitch. I wasn't a thrower. I could locate. I can mix speeds and all that stuff. It's probably one of my better years.
You start getting that information, huh?
Yeah. I learned the game. I grew up on the mound, but I just wasn't throwing hard enough. So I knew it was to the end. So you get your release letter. And, some people don't bounce back from that very good. I've had friends commit suicide and all this other stuff. Hence is why you teach these kids, man, get an education. Everybody don't get lucky as I did. I had good street sense. I had a good upbringing. I was around people like you guys. I had some mentors. I had good people around me. And I stayed away from the crazy stuff. Was I involved in gangs, drugs, and all? Well, yeah. Just you didn't have a choice. You get your butt kicked if you didn't do what they told you to do. But ultimately, I went on and I said, okay, I'm done with ball. I'm ready to raise a family, and ended up back in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And that's when I started my tour of, if I didn't make it, I'm going to give back, because I had a lot of stuff. I had a lot of stuff. I didn't never have anything handed to me. I don't ever want to give that impression. None of us did. We had to work for everything we got. But I did have 2 guys, Reginald Thomas and Ray Bailey, who took me to Cubs games, White Sox games, and they were part of the Boys and Girls Club. They mentored us. They take us away from the inner city and take us out in the suburbs just to play wall ball or strike them out. Remember strike them out? Back in the day with the box on the wall, and they take us away. those two guys were instrumental in me thinking like, you know what? Those guys are awesome to me. Now it's my turn to do that for some other kids. And you start with just a couple kids here and there and stuff, coaching teams. You know, I coached a couple of teams. And then after that, I said, I want to take it to that next level. And that's when, like I said, when I moved here to Dubuque, I knew that I wanted to do something with a facility, so to speak, because when you look at the draft, guys, where are most of the people from? They're from California, Florida, Texas, all of those warmer climates. We don't get it.
Georgia.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah, all those warmer climates. We have to put our gloves away. So I said, you know what? It'd be nice if we could keep up with that and have an indoor facility so we can continue training and doing it. I didn't reinvent the wheel. People were doing this before us, but now people are doing it at a higher level. You know, they're bringing in ex-professional players. They're teaching. People want to play games. They want to play in games, and they think, well, no, how about working on your skills, your drills, and some of the basic fundamentals and stuff like that. And it became catchy. I like doing that. So that's how Dusty Rogers Baseball Academy, Softball and Baseball Academy grew, because I started watching what other people were doing and say, hey, I can do that too. And I want to do that. So that's how it all evolved. After seeing other people doing it, I decided to do it my own way, basically, here in Dubuque, Iowa.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Appreciate
Hey, to counter on that a minute, I was just looking on the phone. We got some people watching. Is one of your buddies said, what up, Bullet? You might know who that
is. Anthony Kelly?
Yep.
That's Duke.
Yeah, your man Kells is watching.
Idol,
he's gonna be a future guest, another draft pick, and a West Sider. So we do have an audience a little bit, you know.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool what you're doing with the kids, man. And what you have some things like coming up, you know, now.
Tryouts, things like that.
Yeah, what you got coming up? What you got going on?
So with that facility, this facility is about a 10,000 square foot building, but it lays on a property that's called the Dubuque Sports Complex, and that's about 30 acres. So there's 5 fields down there. So I just purchased that probably about 3 years ago. So now both of my properties lay right there on that same land. So I get the best of both worlds. I host tournaments, and also I have that indoor. I have 17 travel teams right now, 10 baseball, and 7 softball. So
that's good. You also do softball for the girls. You got
we started out with just baseball, but then I had a couple kids from the school I used to coach basketball at senior high school say, why don't you do softball? Well, go get me players. I don't know a lot about softball. And they did it. They came up with 11 girls, and lo and behold, we started doing softball. So it worked out perfectly.
That's pretty big, though, in that area. Girls softball is pretty big, though, isn't it? In the area.
Yeah. Yep. And I know what you guys are referring to. We had signed up. Well, you know, Perfect Game is #1 in the nation.
Right.
You know, for travel teams and recruiting and all that stuff. All your top players probably have come from there. There's other competition out there like PBR and Phenom Baseball is who we got tied in with. So after doing this for a while, guys, you feel like I know enough people. I've been in this game long enough because some of these people now, they'll take $200 a player just to use their name, you know? So that adds up over time. And just recently here, and you're going to be the first to hear it, we just decided that, you know what? We're going to be DRBA Prime. So we just renamed our organization so I don't have to go out and pay these outstanding franchise fees and pay just to use the word phenom or prospects or something like that. What's wrong with DRBA? You know, I've never tooted my own horn. Anybody that knows me is not my style. But I say, what's wrong with DRBA? And we just add prime. So what we can give and what we can offer is we got your middle of the line players that play for the DRBA Reds, right? Now, what do we do to stop losing our top kids? Because every team on my organization has a phenom, so to speak, or an elite ball player. But I'll lose those kids because we can't play up to those top competition, top tournaments, like your Chicago Aces and stuff like that. So we didn't have that. That's why we just created DRBA Prime. So we're going out.
This will be the first season? This will be the first season?
This will be the first season for DRBA Prime. Like I say, we started out with Phenom, and that didn't really work out for us. But we can get kids from all over the nation that play for us when we play in these top tournaments at Perfect Game or or PBR and stuff like that. So we're pretty excited to launch that. And it's going to be, like I said, you're the first one to hear. We're launching it tomorrow. So that's what's
great.
exciting.
Congratulations.
That's what's, yep, thank you. That's what's going on now. So
congratulations,
now
brother.
Yep, thank you. We get these kids in front of these colleges and these pros and all these scouts and stuff. A lot of kids don't have the means to that. So we're hoping that we can provide that for them.
They can get the exposure that they need.
Yes.
They can get the exposure.
Exactly. You guys know Lou Collier, Marvin Freeman. Those guys are doing fantastic job helping promote our kids, man. So hats off to them too, because they're doing a fantastic job getting it. And well, Cam Collier is one of the top prospects. That dude is
oh my God.
That boy's a real deal, man.
Yeah, we had him on last week and we were talking about it. We've had Marvin and all of those guys.
Absolutely.
We'll come back, but Cam is a specimen.
He's something else. He is something else. And we had one here too, Ian Moeller, who just got drafted by the Texas Rangers. That's the first kid out of Dubuque to go that high. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but
what is his name again?
Ian Moeller. Ian Moeller.
What position, Dusty? What position?
Catcher for the Texas Rangers. He just
got. He went out of high school, or he went out of college. He was out
of high school.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. So you'll hear that name. He'll become a household name. But he's a mixed kid, and you'll hear a lot about him. He's going to be tough. But can I add them pioneers again, man? Like the Wes Chamberlains and the Marvin Freemans and the Colliers.
Absolutely.
The Anthony Kellers, the Bo Rabs, keeping it alive, keeping the dream alive. So, yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, this has been a pleasure having you on the show, man, and getting this information out and to hear your story, because a lot of it I didn't know. And a lot of people out there didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes,
you know, but in Chicago, we know who's who. We know who's who. We know. And you one of those guys, man. You're definitely one of them guys, man.
Did you tell Gaston like I said, that he owes me dinner?
Huh?
Did you tell Gaston that he owes me dinner?
Red. He talking about Red, man.
Big Gary Gaston.
He talking about Gary,
hey, my legs are shaking every time I pitched against him with Jackie Robinson. That dude drove me crazy.
Gary Gaston.
Get
it to the field house, Bo. He'd hit him to the field house.
Yeah, man, he was the only one that could hit him, man. Gary was the only one that really hit him.
Hey, Bo, when he hit the balls past me, they whistled.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear the wind. I said, man, when am I going to get done with this guy?
He was the only one. Him and Nucci were the only ones that they were like meaningless hits because he was dusting everybody else off, man.
Yes, man. You remember the guys that hit you well. Trust me. You remember them more than anything.
I heard that, man. Like I said, it's been a pleasure, man. This was a real good one, and it was a pleasure seeing you. And the first one from Utica, y'all. The first one. I represent all our people down south. We can let them know. You know,
good ones.
That's right. Double O to all them. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm phasing out, but
yes, yeah. Shout out to Hitman Hearns too.
Yes, sir. Tony, to my roomie, Mark J. Hammer,
There's so many
Irby,
yes,
Corn Keys, Dancy,
anybody we forgot.
Twain.
There's so many of them. There's so many of them. You're gonna forget people. So anybody we forgot, love
Felipe.
you all, man. Hey, they made us
Danielle.
Yeah, they made us better. They made us better.
That's right.
That's
and Coach McQuitter for sure.
Absolutely.
Hey, y'all, this has been a good show. We got, like I said, we had a Chicago legend, Mr. Dusty Rogers. And thank you again, man, for coming, man.
Yeah, appreciate you both. Bill, nice meeting you, man. Hopefully get meet you one day in person.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much, and best of luck with DRBA Prime.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Peace
Thank
out,
you,
guys.
man. I call you later, man. Peace.
All right, both.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one, man. We had some technical difficulties, but we got our way up out of it.
Made it through.
Yeah, that was an interesting story there, wasn't it, Bill?
Oh, absolutely. Even the part about Utica Junior College, just the history, it's just been wiped away.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's all hands now.
It's gone.
Just
it's gone, man.
Of all those guys. Yeah. Like I said, in '84, it was another entire wave of guys that went down to Utica. And
they had some guys down there from Jackson already that was bad, man. I'm telling you, when I got down there, it was a brother named Mike Smith. They call him Double O. That's when the guns didn't do like 100. And he'll throw, man. It'd be like 01, 02.
Mm-hmm.
01, 02, never seen it in my life, man.
Mm-hmm.
This dude, and he was short arming. He threw 100 plus, man. Yeah. Moving.
Sounds like Dusty is doing some big things out there in Dubuque, Iowa, with his facility and the program out there.
Yeah, he's
I
doing
wish
it,
him all the
man.
best.
He's doing it, man. He was, he's a pretty good guy, man. He was, he wants to give back, and he felt, a thing about doing it. So I applaud all those guys. That's why I want to bring him on the way we brought him on. We could still gonna go back to some of the old school guys, but it was necessary for us to bring him on.
No, he's a great guest. Great guest.
So hey, y'all, this is a good show. It concludes it, and this is my man Bill. I'm Bo Rab, and hey, peace, man. We're gonna sign it on out.
All right.
All right.